Hello, welcome, happy holidays to everybody out there. And how was your Christmas? How was yours? Man, it took me a while to get on here. Not that I had um, any issues electronically, but just a lot of thinking to do and looking at things. And uh, with, well, with the planetary alignments and things that are happening, it just gave me some time to sort of come on here quickly to um, some contemplation that I've been doing. So, welcome everybody. My name is Mary Jane Tracy, psychic medium, spiritual love of life coach, and a astrologer. Um, I'm taking a look at the astrology today. I think Chiron's playing a real big role, plus the moon just ending up in Taurus and going into Gemini. And it's this energy of we're kind of in this in-betweenness, I'll call it. Some kind of waiting room, and we're trying to figure this out, and with how we are going to be stepping forward into our year, into 2021. And there's 3 spots left for the peak end of 2021. And because there's going to be such more transitioning for us that's coming in, and I think with so much is coming in that it's mind-boggling, not only, but for me, I mean, for my guides and everything, this energy that's coming forward, and they're showing me that there's these huge portal rooms are coming in for us all, and how these portal rooms are going to be working for us or with us is all depending on how we are moving forward within our own lives, like how we're going to be kind of like maneuvered over into these different places. And are we going to be where some people are going to be moving along with everybody else, with the whole crowd, like this whole crowd of people, but then, and I've seen this before, where some of us are going off, but we're not in that huge, I guess, main group, not in with this huge main group. We're going in a separate vehicle. We're going into a separate vehicle. And I can see that for my own, like even in my own self personally, going into the separateness or separate vehicle, or into a new collective energy. And part of that has to do with on February 1st, I'm going to be starting my Patreon page. So I'm going to be doing a Patreon page. And a lot more of my dailies will be going on a Patreon page. And that's just getting, because one, when Periscope goes, and is a part of Twitter, it kind of, it gives me a little bit of an uneasy feeling. I haven't been on Instagram too much. If you're still using Instagram, if you're still on there, we've all complied for Instagram to have access to every single little thing upon our computer and other devices around, and for them to collect all of the information in even deeper detail than what they were doing before. But now they're saying, since you didn't delete my app, or you're still using my app, and the owner of Instagram is, Facebook, and so they're, collecting everything on us. So there's just this, energy of moving on. And that's why, I've went on over to Patreon and I've gone over to Telegram. But it's on Telegram now, it's just like, some of the people that are connecting, I'm just like, I mean, you got all the fucking perverts over there, it feels like, starting to come out first before you can sort of find your spiritual, trying to find your spiritual group, right? And that was one of the reasons why I'm choosing to go on Patreon, even though it is it's not my platform, it's somebody else's platform, but I'm able to have my own content on there and being able to express myself on that platform without being worried that I have to just post or just do things that are within what they feel is right. And that I feel is also coming in with a lot to do with especially the spiritual community and those within the spiritual community in coming into, for us being in a collective of our own sovereignty of who we are as spiritual beings, but coming into a place where if they don't like the tarot cards that you use, or you posted something that they don't like, right? Then that content will be taken down because they don't like it, or they feel it is not, it isn't, they know better than you for your higher good. And I think today, with the energies that are coming, with the alignments, it's getting us to hold. This is about holding our truth. And this Christmas has been, of course, it's been a weird Christmas. It was, for many, it was very fucked up. And with this Jupiter Saturn coming, Saturn in Aquarius, and that big conjunction that we just had, we are having a lot of demands on us. People demanding, who's demanding on you to be a certain way or act a certain way. So a lot of contemplation is being had, and looking into our own soul and our own sovereignty of moving forward on being truthful to our message. Yet you might be finding that it's going to get difficult to be truthful with your message because others that we don't know are saying this is what we believe, we think, we know better than you. And it's where many will be the blinded sheep and go upon this road. And that's where, and go into these other portals. And where many who I follow on certain platforms aren't even allowed to say anything about they got to talk about it or talk in code. They they can't mention the coronavirus. They can't mention the vaccine or that. I'm just a little person. I'm just just under the scope at this time. And, not like some who have millions of followers. Some people have like 32 million followers, or they have 100,000 followers. And those are the ones that they really want to shut down. Like they want to shut down people like JP Sears, and they don't want him to continue to voice what he's saying out there because it is, to them, it's not beneficial to the collective. They don't want thought. They don't want you to be free thinking. And moon in Gemini, the moon coming up in Gemini, and with that North Node, the North Node in Gemini is about truth, being truthful to who you are, finding that truth, heading towards that truth. It's about investigating. It's about looking into, is this true? And sometimes when you find truth, when you find the truth, you don't want to accept it because it doesn't feel, it's like, but that's not what I was always told. And even though you know it's the truth, you got to come into your own self. You got to come into that intuition and really look in and say, you know what, this is, I know this has to be the truth. I got to trust myself. I got to trust my intuition with this because everything else is too fucked up. And the rest of the world is too fucked up. That just does not make sense. It doesn't matter that, others are the big, all of these so-called leaders or people who we call icon leaders or stars or late night television people, and we think that, oh, well, they must know more than we do. Do they? And I think that's where we have to come into our own questioning. And this is where we have to come into our own self and stand in that truth. And for many, it's going to be extremely difficult because if you have family, not all your family is going to agree with you, or they're not going to like what you're saying. They won't. They want to play along with going because it just, that's just the easier thing to do. Let's just go with the group. Let's just go with everybody else. Or they're feeling so overwhelmed and so frustrated because, well, if I, this is, I mean, what am I going to do? Because I need my job. I need to pay my rent. I need to have a roof over my head. I need to have food on my table. Like, so I guess I got to do this in order to keep it up. But I feel because with the Neptune squaring the nodes, it's such a false illusion that people are falling into. And we're going to find that this week is going to bring in some really more crazier things than what you thought. I mean, I mentioned last week that something would pop up and a nuclear sub pops up in the Persian Gulf. Like, excuse me, nuclear subs don't just pop their head up. They go under and you don't know they're there for a long time. Like, you don't even know they're there. And then when they pop up, it's just like they're making themselves known. The U.S. is making themselves known. This is like who I am. It's just like when people are starting to expose things about the government or expose things, like even within our Alberta government, like selling off crown land to some Australian person to do open coal mine. And then my mind's thinking, okay, why are they doing that? Because right now in China, they've been, because of sanctions and other things that have been going on there, they have actually shut down in China and shut down parts of China. I'm just going to see if I can pull it up. And bringing in those parts that are being shut down right now. Oh, I won't be able to find it. No. No, can't find it. But anyways, there's on YouTube. I think it was on, I don't know if it was YouTube or somewhere, where I saw that, and I was reading in the news of China. Coal. Yeah, they have coal plants. Like everything is run by coal in China because it's cheap, right? And they're trying to say it's all, and they get most of it from Australia, and then they put sanctions on Australia. But in doing so, they have people, like they can't use their stove, all kinds of crazy things. Anyways, it's been happening since December the 16th. Going back to what I'm saying is that things are going to come out, that exposures of governments, exposures of things that are going on is going to be coming out more and more, and people are afraid of this, afraid of a lot of this. Let's see, I think I got it here. Anyways, I'm just, but we have to start looking into it and not deny, like not continue. I think this has been more of us not putting our head in the sand. And I think that's one of the reasons why today and the last few days coming on to do the scopes have been really kind of trying in a lot of ways in coming in and talking, because sometimes I feel, I don't know if it gets heard or if people are wanting to hear. I know quite a few people have stopped following me or stopped listening because they don't want to hear the message anymore. They don't want to, they found I was, I guess, too negative and to bringing in too much information in for them, and that's not what they wanted to hear. That's not where they want to go. Callie, is there a threat of communism? Well, what do you think? Honestly, what do you think? You know, you got to look at the things that are happening in and around, and I think the intensity and the intense energy, and Mars squaring is war. Squaring Pluto, it's war. It's war. It's that warring energy within us, and it's a warring energy within the collective, right? So this is why it's you know, even some of my kids have been saying, "Oh, Mom, you're just too, you know, everything's made in China, so who cares?" Well, I think it's time for us to start caring and to start paying attention. Yeah, I know I have an iPhone. I know my computers, everything that electronically, everything that we have is from China. And we have backed ourselves into a corner. But this is where we're going to find where a lot of people are going to be veering off into a different direction. And that's why we have to start looking at things. And if you've been following me for a while, I've been telling you about the energies. I've been telling you about the planets. I've been telling you about, you know, making sure that you stock up on food, and telling you that there are things happening that you have to be aware of. And that's the thing. You have to wake up.
All right.
Okay, baby.
See you later.
All right. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's my baby. What's the solution for contribution of waking up others? It's not up to you to wake up others. It's not up to you to wake up others. That's the whole thing. I think you just have to do what you're doing. Do whatever you do. Just continue doing and being your light. If you continue being your light and doing what you're doing, then, because everybody's going to wake up at their own time, in their own way. So everybody's there at a different level. My way is just coming here. If people want to watch, they watch. If they don't, they don't. If they want to be a part of my and take classes, they take classes. If they don't, they don't, you know. It's not up to me to push anything down anybody's throat. It's up to you. Just have to continue doing your thing, right? And if people don't like it, they don't like it. But that's a hard one too, because then for many, you find that you feel like you're alone, or that you feel like in that isolation. But that's where you know, again, here comes the other part too that people don't want to listen to, is the Christ consciousness energy that's coming in very strongly. And it came in since that Jupiter-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius opened up this huge energy of Christ consciousness, of energy coming in. And Christ consciousness is not that of, You know, if people are like, oh, I don't believe in Jesus, well, fuck off. Like, it's not about that. It's about understanding that that one person who came into this world, Jesus, stepped into that Christ consciousness to herald a new light into the world. That's what he did. Was he, you know, he was a rebel. He came in, he did things that others would not want to do. He stood up towards others that didn't want to, you know, pay anybody else's, you know, pay any attention. And this is where too you're going to find, you know, and the word, you know, when I just talking about him, and then they just showed me the leprosy and the lepers. There's going to be a lot of us who are going to be the leopards. Who's going to be the ones with leprosy? Who are those people going to be? Those are going to be the people that probably don't want to follow that bandwagon. They're not going to want to follow that. They want to go off on they're going to be going on into their own sovereignty. They're going to be going off into their own. And with that, being ousted from the rest of society because they're not following what that collective is saying that you have to follow. They're following their own, they're following their intuition, they're following that light that's coming in. And not everyone is going to agree with that, and it's going to make it extremely fucking difficult going forward. And it's going to be difficult because you want to pay your rent, you want to have a roof over your head, you want to have food on your table, yet pressure is being put upon you as a society, being pushed upon, and you're going to feel it heavier next year because, you know, when people say, well, we're coming into a Renaissance age, you're coming into a Renaissance age. This Renaissance is a rebuilding, but not everybody, you know, thought these great masterpieces were great masterpieces. They thought they were fucking idiots, right? Like they weren't thought of as masters of whatever they were doing during that time. They were too rebels. They were too ones standing out and doing things differently that other people didn't think were right or were, you know, normal. And you find like there's a lot of astrologers out there which are fabulous, and I'm not in any of the leagues of any of these astrologers because they've gone through classes and other things that they've done for their astrology. But there are others that just don't want to talk about the energies that are coming in. They want to be all fluffy about it. And I just can't. You know, when I'm looking at the astrology and the intuition that I'm getting when I'm watching the planets and then hearing what others are saying, I'm like, well, you're only giving half the facts. You're not giving the full truth. You're not stepping into that truth of what that energy means. What does it mean when you see, you know, planets that are coming into, you know, back into certain degrees, like even with Neptune coming back up to 19 degrees, that, you know, that's the witch hunts. And then you look around and then you start seeing what the witch hunts are, right? And I mentioned this before, you know, you see, you know, and then of course Neptune retrograded, and now it's got to come back to that point and coming back and going forward. And what are those witch hunts? The witch hunts are you wearing a mask or not wearing a mask? Are you going to stand in this line and get a shot up the arm or not get a shot up the arm? Are you a believer in this and believe that there's this virus coming out? And that's the thing, you know, it's like there are, you know, as my son said, he goes, well, it's like the common cold, you know, that's what this corona thing is. And I'm like, yes, and no, it is a virus. And yes, you can't put your finger on it, but there's something that's different about it, that in its mutation and how fast it mutates and how fast new ones come out, that even with a common cold, we know that there is a common cold, but it doesn't mutate as fast as this one. We're not saying that it doesn't mutate, but that's the thing. That's the thing. and reducing time on yeah, yeah. And the thing, the one thing, as you know, for me as a business person, my platforms are my business. My platform are my business. So if I want to grow my business in today's world and growing, and that's the whole thing, it's like it's such a fine line on how you are going to grow your business, on how you are going to promote yourself and put yourself out there. So it's a very fine line right now that we're all walking with everything, and not like things are going to be starting to come out more and more and more and more, right? And the information is going to start coming out more. And a lot of people aren't going to like the information. It's like I got Leonardo da Vinci coming in, and he's saying, not everybody liked his designs. Not everybody thought he was that, it's just like, the 16th chapel. Now we look at it, we're like, oh my God, the painting of the Last Supper. We're like, oh my God. But, we're thinking like this is just fine, beautiful pieces of art. But at the time, he was a rebel. He didn't always go with what everybody was saying. He thought differently. He wanted to do things differently. And that's the whole part, and that's all this energy that's coming forward, is this for us to start awakening into it, and we might change with this. And that's difficult. That's the difficulties that we're changing. That we're changing onto the roads that we feel that are right to us. And not everybody wants to play along with it. And that could be with family, friends. And some of us have been feeling it since 2017, even before, with Pluto coming into this energy, Pluto coming into Capricorn and making those changes in 2008. And this coming in is bringing in very intense energy, and bringing that intensity in, and bringing in that transformation, and bringing in the changes that are coming in. But it's the roads that we need to stay true to, and stay true to our truth. And when we can stay true to our truth and stay true to who we are, is going to be a way, yes, it's going to allow you to make yourself, have yourself feel amazing, because I'm being true to me. I'm being true to what I really want to do. And that is the most important thing, right? Exactly. You're stepping into your own intuition. And that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm going on to Patreon. Because on Patreon, it's like, yeah, then people will have to subscribe, at different, maybe different tier levels. I don't know. We're still working that out. But, and also, going to a point that as of February 1st, if you're going to book an appointment with me, it'll be through Blessed Circle YYC for now, and going through Blessed Circle YYC and booking an appointment through there, right? I feel like I'm done with people. I just want to be in nature. Beautiful. Yes. Yes. And that's, that's exactly it. Just, being into that flow. And that's sort of how I've been feeling too, with all of this energy coming in, and taking things into a direction that feels right for me. And with that energy of the Christ consciousness coming in brighter and brighter, which will cause a lot of other energies to rise as well. But that's where it's, I remember years ago, Heather, I was in a class with Heather, And she was like, oh, she goes, oh, you got to stay looking at the light, but you'll see something over here and you're going to go, don't look at that. Don't look at that. And fucking you go and look at it. And you knew you shouldn't have looked at it. Right. So this is being, feeling that beauty, feeling that energy. And Periscope for me has been such a huge platform for me. Huge platform. And that's, with it ending, and it just, I feel like it's something that I don't know if Patreon or Parler is going to be, I should say Parler is going to be able to like, I don't know if they have live streaming on here or not. I don't know. I think you could just post up or post whatever, but it is one of those, places, that you can post things and not get, taken down because of whatever reason. But, that's the way I'm feeling right now. And I know with things in Gemini, you got to keep it basic. Got to keep it basic. Don't, you can't be doing it out differently. It could be great to find something that allows you to live stream on your own website. Yeah, it's creating your own platform. It's creating your own platform. And that's, in creating your own platform in order to do that, and hosting your own, let's say your own platform, costs a lot of money. Costs a lot of money. So in doing that, and then you also have to watch out in streaming. I'm just going through my own investigation, is that sometimes they want to still have control of your content, even if you're streaming onto your own website. So so that's what you have to look at in doing that. Have your own rate. Yeah, have your own same way. It is a platform. You have to find that radio set. Yeah. People that I know who do it, pirate radio and stuff like that. And I mean, people who podcast for years and have done things like that. They end up having to set up their own platform, which costs, to host a platform with all the IPs and stuff like that, IPNs and that, is like $5,000 a month, $3,000 a month, $3,000 to $5,000 a month. That's why platforms like Vimeo, even they wanted, if you start getting big, they want to take a piece out of it. YouTube, no, YouTube's not being taken down. YouTube is just they're watching all the different platforms that are going up there. Right? So that's the big thing, is that and I've talked to different people who have their platform and stuff and how much they pay, but these guys have you have to have a huge following in order to do that. You could film on your own, like you can videotape everything first and then post it up and do that. That would be one way. That's why Zoom took off so well, and Zoom's platform. And Zoom doesn't monitor what your business content is or anything. So you can talk to, and like with Zoom, it's like a Skype thing, only with better quality kind of stuff. So it's so interesting, the changes in it. And there's probably going to be like StreamYard, these guys who are doing StreamYard. I mean, these are two young guys and they're coming out with new things that, that they're being able to do, which is really cool. It's really cool what they're doing. And, you know, and having you go through their computer so you can stream into different platforms at once and not worry about it being glitched up, right? But I do pay for StreamYard to be able to stream on there. I do pay a monthly rate with StreamYard to do that. And I do pay a monthly rate to do my Zooms and do it on Zooms. So there's another one that's up, and it's called WeTransfer, and it's from England. And that's what I've been using lately to upload links so that people can download that link, and then they would have that content on there. So there's just a lot that's coming in. I can't remember how much they charge. I don't know for which one. StreamYard, I'm not sure how much they charge. So how much it was. It wasn't that much. Zoom is a lot. Zoom's a lot because I pay for my iCloud and stuff like that on Zoom. So I mean, to have your own, to do the different things for your business, if as a business perspective, if you are setting up your own business, and as I've told people since 2017, you got to have your business online. If you don't have your business online, your business isn't going to succeed, not in the way the world is going. It's not. And if you want to have control over your content, and that's the other thing, and I know Trump vetoed a law that was just trying to come in through to the United States, which would have actually trickled over to other countries, where if you had somebody else's content on your platform, or you said something from somebody else's platform, that you could be jailed for 10 years or something like that. So there's different content and different things that are coming out that, you know, even with Instagram, you have to be aware. Like, you can't just now go by and say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's an awareness. And with the energies and watching the way the planets here are trying to wake you up. You know, with this Jupiter, Saturn in Aquarius, it's a huge wake-up call. This is collective, and it's opposite Leo. And Leo wants to continue to have its sovereignty of who they are as an individual and not get fully lost in the craziness that Aquarius can bring in. Because it can bring in some really craziness when it comes to collectiveness, and comes into, you know, well, everybody, this is the way, this is going to be, this is the best for everyone. This is the best for everyone. So everybody better do this, because this is for the betterment for everyone. And that's what we're being told. But is that the soul and very truth of it all? Going over to Leo, and you go over to the Leo energy, Leo starts to look at it and say, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. That doesn't feel right to me. I want to stand in. I want to be who I am. I'm not going out to harm anybody, but I still want to stand true to who I am. And that's going to be the next fact. I want to stand true to who I am. Still be a part of a community, the community of my choosing, not of your choosing. And don't tell me that it's because of science, because science is ever changing. And science is a place where you are supposed to question. You have hypotheses, you question them, you investigate in them, and sometimes you find out, oh, that was the wrong way to go. This looks like a better way, right? There should be always new discoveries within science. That's the beauty of it, and that's very Aquarius. But Aquarius can get caught up in some crazy ass fucked up shit. And that's what people got to realize. Because we're going to be going into more Uranian energy, which is unexpected change. And change can happen suddenly, where you think things are going one way and you wake up and it's not what you thought. Your world has just changed in a whole new direction. That's why you have to stay into your light, because even if it changes and it looks crazy out there, then you know, okay, you know what? I'm still being true to who I am. I am still coming into I still know that there is that intense energy. But with that North Node in Gemini, I'm going to keep to the basics, and I'm going to keep to my truth, and I'm going to find out what the truth is. And I'm not going to be fucked over by somebody because I don't want to question. And you might get shut down for questioning. So, that's why, like for many, it's like, yeah, let's just go out into nature because it's easier. It's it feels more, not necessarily easier, but I feel more aligned with what I need to do. And that's the energies. They were coming into another, what week in 2020 hasn't been crazy and intense. Well, we're coming into another crazy, intense week as we go forward. And the moon heads Gemini tomorrow, goes into Gemini, and then it's going to hit up the nodes within the next, on Monday. So it's going to be conjunct to the North Node. And Mars is getting close to, he will be going into Taurus, but that won't be till next year in January. And Venus will be in Capricorn as of Monday, coming into Monday. Where's Venus? No, she won't be. I mean, that's not Venus. It's Mercury. Mercury moving along. And with Mercury moving along, he's moving towards the big dudes. So by the end of the month, we will have the Sun, Venus. There she is. On the 28th is the full moon. 29th. So just, and we're also in the full moon energy, and the full moon is that, we want to keep things basic, but we're coming into a full moon, the second full moon in Cancer for this year. But it isn't a lunar eclipse this time. But it is a full moon in Cancer, opposite Capricorn, with that sun. So we're riding the waves, baby. We're on our new ship. We're heading on this beautiful new ship with Christ consciousness and this beautiful love that we would like to continue on. But we also have to be knowing that it's not going to be easy. And the one card I pull out is unity. Do things for the right reason. Compare traditional versus your new approaches to see which works for you. So there might be, this is like, okay, this might have been the way that we thought it worked, but we've just noticed in Capricorn, it isn't. So we got to choose what is right for us. What is that direction that is right for us? That's coming out with the message, and how we do it. It's with the lovely Page of Winter, the Prince of Winter comes in. Is like, we got to seek out intellectual information for the problem. We got to seek out new energies, new information, new things that are coming in. And that's with that unity. So you might be finding that, well, I always hung with these boys on the corner, but now I can't hang out with these boys on the corner because it doesn't feel right, and that's not where I want to go. I don't want to be in that energy anymore. I'm going into my new energy that feels right for me, and this is where I'm seeking out, and that'll bring in sudden and unexpected changes. Things will shift, and you're just like, all of a sudden it's like you're being spun around, and you're seeing everything in a new way because you're looking at it in a new way. It's a new perspective that comes in, and it happens quite readily. So you got to act quickly. You got to trust, okay, this is what I see. This is what I know. It's coming into keeping it basic, keeping it basic, right? So coming in, because that's swords. Swords is like here, it's air. It's like, this is where we're going. We're going to cut through it. And, our divine guidance that comes in with this is have patience and don't worry. Have patience. It's all happening. Don't worry. Trust that this is all being divinely guided for us. Trust that we are being divinely guided and coming into our spiritually minded community in order for us to be able to open up and see things in a better way and know and plan for our next step because we got the information. We're going to go plan for it. We're going to go for it. And with that, Two of Swords. Don't indecisive. Don't be indecisive. Don't hold back. If you're sitting there and you're humming and hawing, I don't know what to do. Maybe this, maybe that. It's just, it's that, coming into that sort of Libra energy. Well, this looks better than this, and maybe this is good, and maybe that's, I don't know. You can't get into that feeling trappedness. If you're feeling trapped, because here we come, the unit is like, here we come in. It's this energy that's coming in. It's the Emperor coming in. It's saying, okay, you know what? We got things to do. This is coming into being the Hierophant and coming into that truth of who we are and saying, this is where it is. It's that spark that's always been in you, that beautiful energy that's always been in you, it's that butterfly coming out of the cocoon. As you see, as it comes out of its chrysalid, which chrysalid, Christ consciousness is the crystal consciousness that comes into this, that gets you to sort of flutter your little breath, flutter, that brings you into that divine guidance. If you start getting like, oh my God, but I don't want to hurt that person, and what about this over this? This is where you got to make the choices that's best for you, and not pleasing everybody else. It's like years ago, I had a store, MJ's Creation Supplies, and people would come in, oh, you don't have this, and I'm just like, oh my God, I guess I got to get that in, because one person came in and said, I think I should have that. Nobody else has asked for it, but that one person is like, oh, I guess, you need this, or why don't you have this in your store? It's like, you can go crazy trying to appease all of these people out there because they want you to be a certain way, yet it's like, no fucking way, that's not me. I'm stepping in to who I am. I'm coming out of my caterpillar, stepping into my butterfly, and looking at it and saying, you know what, there's places I want to fly to, and I'm going to soar to it. And it's not going to be along with that row of people who are following like droids into a flame because everybody says, oh, this is a good thing to do. Fuck that. No, you got to stand there and you got to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to take a break off of social media, or I'm not going to be posting too much on Instagram. Instagram is kind of like, it's like, So, I started doing lives there. And now I'm just like, I don't want to do lives there. I made some great connections with people on there. And I'm going to be, finding out where else can I find your content? How else can I follow you besides on Instagram? So that's what, that's the next thing. So this is where you start going, right? And you start finding it out and you start going towards what you need to go towards. And for me, it's like I got to plug along, do the things that I love to do, and watch out for my, my lovely Scorpio part that can come out that can be kind of ugly. They said pull one more card, and I got the King of Springs. Follow it. King of Springs. Here comes the king. The king comes in and he says there's money there. You know what? Your leadership skills are needed now. Unexpected support. So you follow it, you're going to find the support. The support is going to be there. The people that you need are going to be there. The people that are truly within your alignment are going to be there. And that's what you got. You may not see it at this time, but it's going to be there. So you got to trust in that it's going to be there. Right? So trust in that energy that's going to go forth for you. And trust in that passion, because that's what's true to you. When you trust in that and you stay true to who you are and what you need to do, it'll come into that alignment for you. And that's the message from this energy today. That's the message. You know, and it's been the message all the way along throughout this year, is being true to who you are. And it's been the message I've been spewing out since 2017 and 2016, is being true to who you are. Shining your light. Watching the signs. Reason my guides told me not to do markets. I mean, yeah, people are doing markets. That's, you know, and yeah, I lost a lot of money not doing markets. But my guides kept saying, don't do markets. Don't go into there. Don't do that. It doesn't feel right. And I haven't been. Well, you're going to be guided to do other things. You can't see it right now, but there will be something else coming out. Trust that things are going to go that way that you need it to go, and go from there. Have a blessed day, everybody. The peek into 2021 is next week on the 28th, the day before the full moon. If you are wanting, there's 3 spots left, right? And you can join me there. It's $75. And everybody gets a mini reading. It's a very small group, but it is $75. And I also have my manifesting class starting on January 1st. So if you want to start 21-day manifesting and stepping into, and that's the whole thing about 2021, you got to have a direction. If you don't have a direction and you're fearful and you're like, well, look at 2020, it was all fucked up. Yeah, but you still needed a direction. You still needed to know the steps and following your intuition. And then on the 4th is my 21-day meditation. It'll be a Kundalini meditation that we'll be doing. And that's the whole thing, is like, you know, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fucking detours and fucked up shit that's going to hit the fan next year. But you got to stay with your directive. You know, and continue on to that light force. That's so important. So that's why the manifesting class is coming up. That's why we have the 21-day manifesting. We have the 21-day meditations happening and the spell casting at the end of the month. So lots happening. And the thing is that if you're sitting on the fence, you're just going to get fucked. Hate to say that. If you're sitting on the fence, you're going to get fucked. Because you're like humming and hawing. I don't know what to do. Yeah, you know what to do. Listen, the cards were just telling you. You got to listen. You got to follow your light. You got to go towards your light. And greatness will happen to you. And remember, it's your greatness. It's not my greatness. It's your greatness. Not mine. It's yours. Have a blessed one. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Blessed be everybody. Bye-bye.